Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Awards Gambit. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you all are having a wonderful February so far. Today, I'm going to be doing a movie review of the film American Fiction. American Fiction is Cord Jefferson's directorial debut, and it stars Jeffrey Wright as Monk Ellison, a frustrated novelist who scoffs at ridiculous stereotypes perpetuated in quote-unquote black entertainment. One night, Monk writes an absurd novel including these black stereotypes, and that moves on to be published under the pseudonym Stag R. Lee. I had a great time seeing this movie. I found it to be hilarious and heartwarming all the way through, and I'm excited to share my thoughts with you all. First off, this movie had an absolutely phenomenal cast of characters, led by the one and only Jeffrey Wright. It was so great to see him in a leading role. I feel like in most of his long career, he's played supporting roles, so it was awesome to see him in a lead role. Great actor. He did a really good job playing this frustrated author with like a grumpy, dissatisfied vibe. And yeah, great job to Jeffrey Wright. He received an Oscar nomination for this role. Another great part of this cast is Sterling K. Brown, who plays Monk's brother Cliff. He gave such a great performance in this movie. I felt like he was the standout performance of the film. In my opinion, he was the heart of the film. I feel like I empathized with his character a lot, and he had a lot of really great, beautiful, emotional scenes with Jeffrey Wright. So that was really awesome to see. He also got an Oscar nomination for this performance, so congratulations to Jeffrey Wright and Sterling K. Brown on their Oscar nominations. Another member of the cast is Tracee Ellis Ross as Monk's sister Lisa. Tracee Ellis Ross is iconic in everything, and that's continued to be true in this role. She was very charming, funny, charismatic, as usual. Much love to Tracee Ellis Ross. Monk's mother Agnes was played by Leslie Uggams. I had never really heard of her, or seen her in anything before, but she was such an adorable older lady. She had so many funny one-liners throughout the whole film. She was quite a scene stealer, and she played such a great part in the whole film. Erika Alexander played Monk's girlfriend Coraline. I loved her vibe. She seemed like such a queen. Her and Jeffrey Wright had excellent chemistry together, so that was a great addition to the cast. Issa plays Centaura Golden, another author that makes novels that perpetuate black stereotypes. She was great in that role. It wasn't a huge role, but she did her thing. Issa Rae is great in everything. And she also had a really good scene with Jeffrey Wright. Adam Brody plays Wiley Valdespido, who was working with Monk to create an on-screen adaptation of his book. He was so hilarious, such an odd character, a little bit unhinged and chaotic, and so funny whenever he was on screen. John Ortiz plays Arthur, who is Monk's book agent. He was also very funny in this role, as he is in most roles he plays. And he also had many great scenes with Jeffrey Wright. And lastly, an actress named Myra Lucretia Taylor played Lorraine, who is the maid/housekeeper of the Ellison family, who was like a member of the family to them. She was so sweet. It was really heartwarming to see her be a part of their family and, just take care of all of them. You could feel the love in her heart every time she was on screen, and yeah, she was such a queen. Love her. This movie also had an incredible soundtrack. I didn't really know a lot of the songs, but the songs really fit well into the plot of the film and what was going on in the film. Specifically, there was Let Love Flow On that was playing towards the end, and they showed them a lot of the characters like dancing on the porch, and it was such a vibe. I loved that. And going along with that, it also had an amazing score by Laura Karpman. Really like jazzy, like very light and airy music playing throughout the film. It just added to the overall experience. I loved the score. It was so great. And this movie as a whole was just laugh out loud funny. I honest to God found myself slapping my knees in the theater. And this movie just had such a stellar screenplay. It was absolutely hysterical. And the vibe of the movie as a whole was just really heartwarming and beautiful. It was a movie about a family. It was a comedy. I feel like this was such a crowd-pleasing film. And the whole time I was just eating the whole thing up. It was a really, really great watch. I want to talk about this film's Oscars potential. This movie was nominated in 5 categories, including Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Original Score. I think its best chance of winning is in Best Adapted Screenplay. Like I said, this movie has a stellar screenplay written by Jefferson. It won at the Critics' Choice Award for Best Adapted Screenplay. This is a very competitive category, so I think that it's not a guarantee. I think it has a pretty good chance, but it's going up against Barbie, Poor Things, and Oppenheimer, which I also think have a chance of winning. So we'll see what happens at BAFTA. I think whatever wins at BAFTA will probably end up being the front runner and the one that's predicted to win at the Oscars. I would be very happy to see this movie win Best Adapted Screenplay at the Oscars. Be a very well-deserved win. And this might be a little bit of a stretch, but I do think that this movie has a chance of winning Best Picture. I know it seems like Oppenheimer is out front, very far ahead of all the other movies, but this movie just fits the criteria of some recent Best Picture movies like Coda and Green Book, where it's like happy, lighthearted, beautiful, a happy movie, more or less. And we've seen time and time again movies like this upset for Best Picture over movies that are a bit darker or more sad. I do think it has a very, very small chance, but it is possible. I think that it has a good chance of winning SAG Ensemble. And I think that if it wins SAG Ensemble, it gets that cast on stage. They give a great speech. That could be a start of a roll into momentum that could ultimately lead them to a Best Picture win. I also think Jefferson could win the Best First Time Director DGA award. So that's also a time where he can make a good speech, get, some publicity there. I think that it could happen. I would love to see that happen. I think it would be deserved, but we'll see. I want to give this movie an overall rating. I would give this movie a 9.0 out of 10. I really enjoyed this film. I saw it twice in theaters. It was just as good, if not better, the second time around. And it's such an easy watch. It's a hilarious film, and I highly recommend you all check it out if you haven't already. I want to thank you all so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at The Awards Gambit. And I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your week and a great weekend. And I will catch you next time on The Awards Gambit.